district attorney, the closer, the keeper of the books, Michael Schein. Keep it going. Keep it going. Michael Schein, everybody. I love that book. Hold that book up. Leo.
All right. Hi, everybody. Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Come.
All right, so why don't we all stand up? Everybody stand up. All right. And if you know me, one of my favorite phrases is, I am a money magnet. So on three, we're all going to say, I am a money magnet. 1, 2, 3. Now turn to the person to the right of you and say, you are a money magnet. Now turn to the person to the left of you, or either way, and I don't know my right from my left, so don't worry about it. And say, so you are a money magnet. And now we're all going to say, we are all money magnets. Woo! Give yourself a round of applause. So you can all sit down. I learned that from Mitch Durfee. Please be seated. So just so you know, and so I can be a little bit calmer, this is only my second time ever speaking on stage, and my first time was last year at the 100 Millionaires Summit. Yeah. And so I'm working on speaking more slowly, so I'm not done in 5 minutes. And so, yeah, thank you. It's so nice to see all these familiar faces. Appreciate that. So, but why don't we just do a little breathing exercise, just 5 deep breaths, and it's really not for you, it's for me. So, so. Sweet. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So this quote means like almost everything to me, and so I'm going to read it. It says, the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Not only because I'm from Providence, but whatever you think you can do or believe you can do, begin it. Action has magic, power, and grace. So it's pretty inspiring, right? Yeah. But what struck me, I'm going to geek out as a grammar. I love grammar, and I was an English major, Tufts University. Yeah, woo! Go Jumbos! Anyways. Jumbo the elephant, yeah, there we go. So I want you to focus on one word specifically, or, well, actually one phrase, which is providence moves to. And the reason this is so significant to me is because the word to is T-O-O, as in also. And when I used to hear this quote, I thought it was just T-O. Like when you take action, when you commit yourself, then providence will move towards you, or God will move towards you, or the universe, or whatever your higher power is, will move towards you. But then one day I was reading it, like the actual writing, and I saw the T-O-O, and that completely changed the meaning for me, and it was like an epiphany. Because, and what you should know is that this is about partnerships, okay? And if I can get one thing across, is that you already have a partnership, and that's with God, universe, higher power, or whoever it is for you. Because when you move, when you commit yourself, providence moves too. And I've seen it in my life, but I'm sure you've seen it in your life. When you commit to something, all sorts of magical things start happening. The right people come into your life, the right opportunities show up, and just everything. It's magic, but I believe in it, and it's true. And I was sitting in the back for the last day and a half, and I noticed that almost every coach mentioned God or universe or higher power. So, it makes me think of Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass. And yeah, I love that book. And she, in like the first or second chapter of the Yellow Book, she says, you know, if you want to get your dreams, you know, be a millionaire, live on an island and do yoga all day, Melissa, it's a lot easier if you let God or the universe into your life. Like everything starts working for you. So if you're resisting that, my humble opinion is to let it all in. So that's what I started with, was Providence Moves To, and I put it at the beginning because even if you don't have a partnership yet with a physical human being, you do have one with God, and it'll take you so far. And if you asked me about this 2 years ago, I would have never said anything like that, but my life has exploded, and that's part of the reason for it. So that's the first one. So yeah. So let's see. So this is my wife, Brenda. And this is actually at the summit last year. She's at home with the kids right now, except for Sam. And we were at the summit, and that is my greatest partnership. And I just want to talk about it for a second because, so I always say my superpower is that I can sense when somebody is being phony, you know? And the reason, I was talking to Terry about this yesterday, the reason that I have that superpower is I think for the first 30 to 35 years of my life, I was completely phony and not true to myself. And when I finally woke up and said, wow, you know, get comfortable in your skin and be yourself and who you are and find your tribe and all that kind of stuff, I sense when people are not being their true self. So that's my superpower. But the funny thing about Brenda is, like, in those times, I was like, oh, I'm Joe Cool, you know, I'm gonna be a real estate investor and all this stuff. So I would like drive by properties and I'd be like, oh, that'd be a good property to buy. Look at that, that's in the best location and it's value add and we can do everything to that. But I knew secretly that I had no intention of doing any of this stuff. I was just like, isn't it cool to talk about real estate? But then when you marry someone like Brenda, I say, that's a really cool place, and that's this many units, and we should do it. And she's like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, shit, now I gotta do it. And I remember the first house we ever bought to live in was a 3-family, and oh my God, it smelled. They had like 3 dogs that were peeing all over the place, and went to look at it, and people were walking through the open house going, wow, this is just nasty. And I had a friend, we were gonna do a spec house, that kind of thing with it, and he backed out at the last minute, and Brenda saw it, and she said, let's go get it, okay? So we went, and here we are again, I'm like, shit. We bought it for $160,000. We did all the demolition ourselves. I am not like skilled with a hammer. If you see me with a hammer, you want to run because you might get hurt. And but we did the demolition, sledgehammer, that kind of stuff, and Brenda too. And then we had this guy, Joe Souza, was our contractor, and he was basically living with us for 6 months. Every night around 6 o'clock, Brenda would be like, Joe, are you eating with us? And he'd be like, sure. So he was our dinner guest for that long time. But anyways, so we bought it for $160. We put $80 into it, and we sold it for $350,000. So yeah. So my recommendation, if you're single, if you can find someone like my wife, you are so, so unbelievably fortunate. So yeah, that's true. Sweet. Anyways. So, yeah. So Brenda was a package deal. So if you see, I think I can use these arrow things. There it is. How cool is this? Super high tech. This is Samantha, who you might have seen in the room. And this is Hannah. Hannah's with the black hair in the back right next to Brenda. Okay. And when I started dating Brenda, they were 7 and 4 years old. And when they turned 8 and 5, what is it? No, 7 and 3, 8 and 4, I adopted them. And I think it was because we were going through the airports and like Brenda married me and then she got my name and then the kids still had another name and they wanted to have the same name as their mom. So we all became Scheins and that was pretty awesome. So just at the risk of embarrassing the heck out of her, I'm going to bring Samantha up now. Come on up, Sam. Yeah. Yay! And the great thing is that I said to her, hey, come, you can have a seat if you want. I said, you come up, and she comes running to the back of the room. She's like, I can't do this. I'm shaking. And I said, don't worry, I'm shaking too. So it runs in the family. Yeah, is it on? Oh, yeah, check.
Hello.
So Samantha's the oldest. You're 29 right now, right? Mm-hmm. Sweet. Nice. And Samantha's, I just asked her to come up because she's around the house when I'm with this community. And what's your impression of me with Walter's community in Alchemist Nation, if you can answer that? If you can't say.
My impression of you, like when you're on the Zoom calls
Yeah,
and everything?
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like a lot of fun. You guys are always talking on Zoom and yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool. And you've heard all these names, right?
Yeah, I know a lot of people in this
Yeah,
room.
Ken Hoffman,
Yeah.
Steve Cutt, Melanie,
Yep.
Kim Rodriguez.
Kim Harvey.
Kim Harvey,
Harvey's
right?
here, yep.
Whole crew,
Melissa
right?
Baker.
Yeah, Melissa. It's awesome. And then so the other one, before I let you go, is so usually when I'm talking around the house, like what do I usually talk about? Like what am I focused on?
Oh my God, you talk about almost everything. There's your different businesses, your law office, partnerships, crypto. A lot
Money,
about crypto,
right?
yeah.
Money stuff.
With Mitch,
Yeah.
your best friend.
Yeah, my best friend.
Money.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah.
That's right.
Being financially free.
Yeah, financial freedom.
Stocks.
And
The list goes on.
Yeah, and then what does Mom usually talk about?
Oh, mom is a little more spiritual, so she talks about spiritual
High
stuff.
five. She got that right on the nose. So amazing combination because I'm always talking about business and being a money magnet and financially free, and Brenda's always keeping us grounded, talking about being spiritual and
It's all about feeling good.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Esther Hicks and all that good stuff. All right, cool. Thank you so much. Give me a huggy.
It's kind of nice up here.
Yeah, you like it. Hey, Steve, she said she
not
likes
so
it
bad.
too. She likes being up here too, so yeah. All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah,
Why are you kicking me off?
yeah, you gotta go. All right, so just back to that picture. Okay, so then together we have Emma, who's in the middle with the red. Then we have Noah, who's in the back, and we have Jonah, who's he's 10. He just turned 10. So we have 5. So the reason I put that up there is because I was practicing as an attorney, and I had a relatively good salary, but I wasn't financially free, and I had a job, and I golden handcuffs, whatever, can't quit this job, that kind of stuff. Still have that job, But I said, there's got to be something more, and there's got to be a way to become financially free. So, and part of becoming financially free is for Brenda and I to go. This is actually Melissa Darling's property in Roatan, Honduras. But I put it on there. Yeah, she's part of Alchemist, and she's fixing that up. But I said, geez, we want to go and invest in property all over the world, and so how do we get there, you know? And so how do we get to this yacht that's on my vision board, and that is in Newport right now, and so put it on the vision board, and yeah, oh right, picture taken by Walter Amorello. So yeah, so I just said there's got to be a better way, but actually I want to make sure I give these books out. So first of all, please don't run to the stage. There's a little bit more to this than that. Sorry, I saw some people sprinting to the stage. But does anybody speak Spanish? Like, all right. So, all right, nice. So if you speak Spanish and you would like a copy of Think and Grow Rich in Spanish, run to the stage. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, sure. Wait, I don't know how many more I got. Let's see. All right. I think I got 2 more. 2 more. Sorry. Yeah, no problem. I think that's it. You'll take it in English? Okay. Sure. Okay. Yay! Woo! Spanish has a soft spot in my heart right now because I'm learning it, and yo aprendo español. And oh good, this is perfect. I've got 3 left, and I'll save it for a couple of minutes. Anyways, if I can stop shaking. All right, here we go. All right, so back to the boat. That's in Newport. There are yachts like that, and I would say 2 years ago, I would say there's no way I would ever get that, and now I believe there's a path to get to that boat. So, while I'm talking about that, all the books that Brenda reads, she's always telling me about it. I basically live with a guru. Like, she constantly telling me stuff, and it's fortunate you put your head on your pillow, and she'll be like, you know, I'm reading this Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, and starts reading it. So I get that like before I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning. It's awesome. And one of the things that all these books say is forget about the how, okay? So just take whatever you want, put it on a vision board, put it in your affirmations, say it day to day. And I was one of those people who would say, but how am I going to get this boat? Or how am I going to get these millions? Or how? And that is not, that's not your job. Guess whose job that is? God. That's the universe, okay? So this world is so magical and amazing. All you have to do is think it, put it into your mind, put it into your vision board, say it, express it, and like I said, providence moves too, and all the pieces fall into place magically. And if you choose to either believe that or not, my life is a lot more fun since I started believing that. So there you go. All right. So then I found this book. Now, I know this is not one of the foundational 5. And so the first book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, amazing, totally inspiring to me. But I have to say truthfully that this book influenced me even more. Because if you see the little chart that he has on the bottom there, so you see the E and the S, that stands for employee or sole proprietor, right? And those guys get completely screwed by the tax code. So you do not want to be on that side. I could see Ken shrugging, so it's like, right? Yeah. Yeah, right? So if you have a W-2, you might want to get to the other side, which is B for business and I for investor. So I read this book, and I said, I got to get to that side. I got to own a business that I'm not in every single day, and I want to level up my investments, okay? So Providence moves too. So I say that, and I don't ask how. And suddenly, I'm at a Rhode Island real estate investors group. And at the end of the night, I see this guy in like a red vest with a fedora. I think you were wearing a fedora, but anyways. And I was like, who is this guy? So, hey, Walter, why don't you come up here? So, yeah, let's give Walter a round of applause.
Check.
Check.
It works. Who was the guy? Who are you talking about?
Yeah, it was Walter Amarello in the back of the room. And we didn't know at the time that we both had a rule that we would not leave a networking event unless we were the last person there.
Because we're closers.
We're closers, right? So if he's not leaving and I'm not leaving, we were there. It's now 11 o'clock at night, and the hotel staff at the Crown Plaza was telling us to leave. So, but he did say to me, hey, why don't you come to Fall River? Saturday mornings, I talk about real estate. And I went home, and I said, hey, Brenda, I'm going to start going 41 minutes to Fall River on Saturday mornings to talk to this guy about real estate. Right?
That's right.
That's right.
I had no clue that this guy was driving 41 minutes to get to us, right?
Yeah.
We were just doing this networking event. We put it on meetup.com, and I told everybody everywhere I went, this is what we do.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were driving an hour. Some of you were driving 2 hours. Greg LeBlanc, 2 hours to come and see us. Yeah. Mike, every single week, 41 minutes.
That's right.
Let's give him a round of applause. Amazing.
Woo! And I wasn't going there to get closing business. I just really wanted to learn about buying my own real estate.
As much as I kept saying, hey, Mike's a closing attorney, Mike kept saying, no, I'm here to learn about real estate.
Yeah, stop it.
Swear to God. Every time I'd be like, oh, Mike's a closing attorney. He'd be like, no, I'm here to learn real estate investing, guys. We're here to learn real estate investing.
Yeah, and so we consider those the dark days of Fall River, and I'm looking at Melanie now because Mel was there in the early days, and sometimes there'd be like 10 people, sometimes we'd have like 30 or 40, right? But it was very small, and in the winter it was cold, and it was actually the beginning of Alchemist Nation, right? Yeah, so I was there, I got to see the beginning of it. And so let's see what we're doing. I got another one, but then something happened, I don't know if any of you heard about it, COVID. Yeah. So suddenly, this man went from 10 to 40 people in a cold room to suddenly Mr. Nationwide or Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah,
right?
I shaved my head too.
Yeah, that's right. Mr. 774. Anyway, so he started doing that, and so we went on to Zoom, and I had said something about, wanting to be a coach. And again, I think I talk and say things, but if you say things to people, they might call you on it. So he's like, okay. In fact, this week I'm not going to be there, so why don't you run the meeting? And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, so the universe is just kind of moving me forward. So yeah, so Walter went nationwide, and I jumped on Zoom. That was just such a blessing for me because being part of this community has led to so many of the opportunities, including becoming the keeper of the books and also the
holistic
attorney. Thank you.
The closer, the keeper of the books, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Schein.
All right, so I gotta kick you off.
I'm out. Let's give Mike a round of applause.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah. All right, wait, I gotta back this baby up. I bought a bunch of real estate with partners and without, and we were doing, like Brenda and I had a little cottage for Brenda's mom, and then we bought my office, but then once I got to be part of Alchemist Nation, just partnerships started coming left and right. So this is one of the properties that I own with a partner. He's not part of the group, but definitely I was motivated by this group to go get partners, but this is a 2-unit in Middletown, Rhode Island, 3-bedroom, 2 townhouses, and with a view of First Beach in Newport. And so crushed that. So that's Airbnb, right a mile away from downtown Newport. Yeah. This is another one. My partner is Franklin, who is part of Alchemist Nation. He was here last year. He's not here this year. This is a 12-unit in Haverhill. And all this stuff I bought in like the last 2 to 3 years, okay? And beautiful brick building, amazing tenants. My partner is unbelievably great with tenants and fixing things. And this thing, 20 minutes from Boston, just crushes it, like $2,500 a month. Rents on all 12 of them. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. This one, I want to show you Airbnb. We just started Airbnb-ing it in June. And that's how much we've made Airbnb this summer in Newport. So Walter was like, show some of the stuff you've done just so they know who you are. So right now, I own with partners, including some with Brenda. So we currently own 80 units, and we've got another 21 under contract. So. And if you don't think it's because I've been in this room and I've been on the Saturday morning calls and I've been on the Monday calls and I've been hanging around with alchemists all the time, then you're just mistaken, because that's what it's come from. So I don't know if you recognize if you were here last year, but we did the 6 C's of partnerships because Walter pointed out to me that most of my work has come from these amazing partners. And so 6 C's: communication, clear goals, commitment, complementary, co-working, and character. So first one is communication. And so stop writing notes, Ken, because you're coming up. Come up here, Ken. Sweet. Funny story. Everybody knows who Ron Bowling is, right? Give Ron a round of applause. I didn't know Ken, but we were both on the Saturday morning call one day, and I wrote, and Ron did something amazing like he does all the time, and I said, I need a Ron Bowling. And what did you say?
I said, I'll be your Ron Bowling.
And I was like, who's this dude? Okay. And so I said, that's cool. We should grab coffee, right? Something like that.
Coffee or something. Let's go get lunch or something.
Okay.
Like you always do. He loves to buy lunch.
Yeah, I like sushi. Buy that sushi. And so when we started talking, what was the first thing we learned about each other?
Oh, yeah. We live in the same town in Rhode Island.
How do you like that? So that it blows your. Remember, this is all Fall River stuff. And then here's this guy who says he wants to partner with me, and he lives in my town. We live like 3 miles away from each other.
Yep.
Yeah. Just so you know, with all these people that I'm partners with, I could probably enter in any of the 6 C's, but I know that Ken and I talk a lot, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So tell me about
I was
communication.
texting you affirmations last night at
It's
probably 12:30 in the morning.
Right.
I'm sending him YouTube videos
Exactly.
about money magnet.
Large sums of money. We talk about the project. Super important.
It is. I know I can always pick up the phone whenever I need to. Even when he's in Roatan, text, call, hey, we got a problem. I need some help working through this.
Yeah.
Mike's always there, and unless you're a lender, he's level-headed. No, I'm just joking. Definitely level-headed and always comes up with solutions. Like, Mike doesn't get rattled easily.
Except for that. We bought a 15-unit together in Fall River, okay? And when we first started talking to the lender said, yeah, 15% down, right?
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line, it became 20% down. And we're like, all right, 20% down. Then it became 25. All I know is that on the day of the closing, the guy said, oh, you have a commercial space in the front, so you're going to have to come up with 30% on a $920,000 property.
Yeah.
That's why Ken's saying I was not level-headed. I think I used the term bait and switch a couple of times. Yeah.
But we did the deal, and it still worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
We communicated the whole time,
that's
and
right.
we worked through the problems.
Right. And what did we tell them what we did with that, with the 15?
Oh, so it was 15 units. It was a 12-unit in the front that actually I found as part of the Alchemist wholesale mastermind group.
Alchemist.
I was cold calling and prospecting and doing everything Walter teaches, and came up with this deal. Actually, Dorena and I looked at it together, I remember, and we were looking at it, trying to think who in the group would like this deal. And, we couldn't really, it was a little bit different. It was a little bit rough and needed a little bit of work. And I said, I remember I went to Dorena. I was like, I think I'm going to buy this.
Nice.
No idea how I was going to do it.
Yeah.
No. But anyways, we put it under contract. Mike came to me and said, it was like 2 or 3 days later, I'm sweating, right? I put down like whatever little money I had to secure the deal. No idea how I'm going to close this thing, but I know it's a good deal. Yeah. Mike calls me up and goes, you all set with that? I was like, no, actually I'm not. Yeah. And that's how our partnership started to get formed.
And part of the communications, when we walked through the 15, we noticed that the 3 unit had a first floor that had just been redone by the seller, and it had, and it was vacant.
Yeah, it was perfectly
vacant. And the
two
of us, it was almost like one of those things where you say jinx, because we looked at each other and said FHA, right?
We're going to sell this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 12 units in the front, 3 units in the back, all on one lot. It was all set up to be subdivided. The paperwork just needed to be done.
Yeah, and he's being very modest because he was a total rock star. Got the engineer there. Engineers split the 3, and then we were able to sell the 3. We bought the whole property for $920. We sold the 3 for $387, and then we ended up selling the 12 for $963. So, and that was like just over a year. So
just over
1.4.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely.
Totally communicating all the time. It's become one of my best friends. Yeah. Definitely, we talk to each other all the time. Mindset, always talking about large sums of money. Mm-hmm. And they keep coming to us.
Quickly and easily.
Quickly and easily, yeah. So that's awesome. So that's why, thank you so much.
Right. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. Please, yeah, thanks. All right. So, I just want to tell you that this building that we're in front of, remember, how many closings did you list that we were going to have to do? Like 5 of them? We were buying, we were selling, he kept posting on Facebook like, closing number 1, 4 to go. Closing number 2, 3 to go, right?
It was like 5 closings or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like 5 closings.
Awesome.
We ended up 5 to 7, I can't remember.
Yeah,
we had
nice.
like a clock going, like every couple weeks we did a closing.
Yeah, so that's in front of my office in North Kingstown. After closing, hey, I'm wearing the same tie. That was not planned. Yeah. All right, so clear goals. Clear goals. If you're going to have a partnership, make sure that the goals are clear. And Ken's in this one. Ryan McGovern, who's another part of the Alchemist Nation. This is funny. There's Brenda and I during COVID, obviously. And we went to see a disgusting house in Pawtucket that was like falling apart, falling down. Yeah, right? Yeah. And when I say clear goals, Ken and I looked at each other and we said, yeah, we're not buying this one. So that was kind of huge. Yeah, so we went to look at it. I just want to point out Ryan McGovern. He couldn't be here, but I was talking to him yesterday, and he was saying that he has a business thing, but he really wanted to be here. And I was like, geez, he's in the picture, but it's just another testimonial to like partnerships, and maybe not in the formal way. It was just, he and I have been talking about, he's doing some trading stuff, and he also does stores with, he's talked to Mitch Durfee about the Amazon stores and all that kind of stuff. So these connections are just all over. So if you're new to the Alchemist Nation, just hang out, because we are all connected to one another in amazingly beneficial ways. So yeah, but not that place. Don't buy that place. Right? Yeah, it's bad news. Commitment. So there's Brenda again. Newport Harbor, we took sailboat. I was going to title this that I'm the most fortunate man in the room, because I really am blessed by this community, and and that's why I'm so thankful to Walter and the whole crew. So the next one is commitment, and so we got Mel and Steve. Mel and Steve, you want to come up? All right, yeah. There, we got a microphone. So So also partners, you saw the closing yesterday. That's Ken and I with Mel and Steve. We bought a 32-unit rooming house. Yes, we did. And actually, Jonathan Mello is property managing that, also another member of the Alchemist community. And I just wanted to bring these guys up there because, well, first of all, we were all at one of Walter's first events, which was Mission to Millions. Was that it? That's the one we were in the house, right, Kim Harvey, right?
That's the first time we met.
Yeah, that's the first time we met.
Well, no, second time we really met.
Okay.
The Ego.
What?
The Ego.
Oh, yeah, the Eagle, that's right, in Fall River. So yesterday you guys did that drill with Doug McGurk. You might want to give that microphone over there. So do you remember that drill where you're supposed to meet people in different ways? You like meet them as very shy or meet them as really excited or that kind of stuff? So remember, I don't know him at all. And right? If you don't know Steve, he's a little intimidating, right? Right? He's a big guy.
Just until I start speaking.
Right. Oh, he is. He's a sweetheart. So they said, all right, so go meet with someone as if you haven't seen them in 10 years and they're your best friend, okay? So let's do that. So I go, hey! I'm like, who the heck is this guy? And he's like carrying me around, and all I'm thinking is like, I'm a lawyer. He's carrying me around the room and all this stuff. And I was like scared too. It's just so much fun. So somewhere along the line, both of us came to the conclusion, because we were talking one day, and I said, I want to do a deal with, I said to Brenda, I want to do a deal with Steve. And you said,
I want to do a deal with Mike also.
yeah, so we were like, no way, let's do a deal together, right?
And I think it was actually last year at the summit.
Yeah.
When he was doing his partnership,
Yeah.
speech. I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that guy's pretty cool. I want to be his partner.
So much fun. It's all Alchemist Nation stuff. But we got to let Mel talk a little bit. So Mel, what's so great about our partnership?
It's fun.
Yeah, right. What do we do after closing?
Go out and celebrate.
Yeah, right. With sushi.
Yeah, food.
Sushi all the time. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the thing. I'm going to start opening law firms in sushi restaurants, so we can just close and then have sushi. So not only do we have one, but what's our other deal that we're involved in right now besides the rooming house?
Car wash.
Car wash, right? And that's Ken as well. Ken found a car wash because he couldn't find a good deal in real estate, right? And we had a third partner who backed out because he was doing another deal in Florida. And Steve kept saying, like before that, I want to buy car washes. I want to buy car washes. And then lo and behold, they manifested it because Curtis backed out and they stepped in, and we're in the process of SBA, and we're going to buy a car wash in Warwick, Rhode Island. It's going to close in November, please. Yeah, SBA, your federal government, right?
Yeah, so that's over $2 million in real estate.
Yeah.
And 2 businesses.
2 businesses.
In under 1 year.
Yeah, so
With
awesome.
partners.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to say, or
What?
anything else, or?
I'm just very grateful.
Yeah, nice. That's so
Yeah,
awesome.
definitely everybody. We were moving very well by ourselves and kind of closed-minded. We were doing well. I didn't really have the belief that I could find somebody who could bring something to the table until I really started looking in the right room. And then when I was in the right room, I found people that brought so much to the table, and it just
Amen.
blew us up so fast. It's incredible. Partnering with the right people is amazing.
Yeah, and I just, the right people are always in this room. I mean, it's just amazing the number of people that we've met. We got Roger and Brenda in the front row, and we got Kim and John. I see John right there, and we're all doing like syndication right now. We haven't done one yet, but we meet together to talk about it, and we're going to get syndication. And again, more alchemists. That's why I feel like I'm like the most fortunate guy here. So yeah, totally grateful.
Same here.
Yeah. Woo! And these guys are just so much fun anyway. So yeah. Woo! And that's the four of us. We went out and had sushi. See, it was always sushi. All right. Complimentary. So colors, I don't know. I'm not much of an artist, but it was a good chart. Thank you, Walter, wherever you are. It was a good chart. Complimentary. So this is my partner, Franklin. He's the one in Haverhill. We own 19 units in Haverhill, and that's the one that I've got 21 more units with Franklin locked down in Holyoke. Complimentary because, well, first of all, I love the fact that he speaks Spanish. And he's just amazing because I've always wanted to learn how to speak Spanish. And like I said, that's why I've got Think and Grow Rich in Spanish. And there's another reason I'll tell you in a minute. But Franklin is so amazing at speaking to tenants in Haverhill. They the guy we bought the property from was not that nice to the tenants. And, and they had all sorts of problems. Franklin went in there and talked to him in that Washington Street one, the 12 unit, and raised all the rents to market level, but then also said, yes, we're going to market level on the rents, but I'm going to fix everything. Like there was one guy that had his toilet, you flush the toilet by pulling a string that went over a pipe, and then it pulled the stopper out, and that's how the guy flushed it. And Franklin's like, oh no, we're going to get you a new toilet and fix it. And so we have tenants that absolutely love us, And they kind of knew when we raised rent that they'd been getting super, super cheap rent for like years, but they'd rather have a place that's fixed up and nice and all that good stuff. So that's Franklin. Co-working. There we are again. Steve and Melody, the most random story ever. Steve came down to North Kingstown for his birthday, and we started with Ken, and then Ken had to go somewhere, and we ended up taking Steve for ice cream, for sushi. We ended up having dinner, and this is us wandering around Wickford because he likes history stuff. But we just love each other, and it's just it's all family, so it's just awesome. I'm totally blessed and totally grateful. So yeah. So I don't know if you remember this from last year, Davy and Goliath. Again, these could all be for all of my partners because they all have character. I know, like, and trust them, all that stuff, morally, legally, ethically. I don't have any partners that try to, go in the gray area. And this was a TV show when I was a kid that was on 6:30 on Sunday mornings, and Davy and Goliath, and Davy would always do something questionable, and then his dog Goliath would go, "But Davy, you shouldn't be doing this." And So here's Franklin again. We were looking at this place right across from the City Hall in Woonsocket. John Rodriguez, you must know this pretty well. It's this big bank that's been abandoned. Yeah, there you go. It's scary. That's like on the third floor, and that's like one of the vice president's offices. So it's always good to not do a deal if it's like this. I don't know, John, this might be more in your wheelhouse, but it was, no. Yeah, so no. That's another thing that you get from Alchemist Nation is that, John and Kim know all about Woonsocket, so if there's something going on in Woonsocket, pick up the phone, talk to John. Roger and Brenda, they do a ton of stuff in Maine, and talk to them about Maine. All that kind of stuff, Fall River, New Bedford, so there's just so many resources in here. I sound like an infomercial for Alchemist Nation, but seriously, I'm just grateful. So then, community, which I've pretty much been talking about the whole time. And we go out and have fun. That's us in Providence. There's Mitch Jaworski. Where's Mitch? Is he back there? I can't see him, but anyways. All right, so we're out at Haven Brothers, which is a Providence landmark. Go out and have really nasty hot dogs at 2 a.m. I'm vegan, so I'm not eating them, but that place is scary. So there's Dorina and Walter. I was talking to Brenda last night, and I said, everybody's asking about you, and I said, and she said, yeah, well, they're kind of my family, so that's the way she feels, and I love that. Chris Hayward's in there too. When we were talking about Saeed earlier, Chris Hayward is part of the community. He works with Saeed, and that's awesome. There's Dorina. So one day, Dorina tells us she's going to take us where her horses were when she was in Fall River. And so you can see Melanie in the back. Is that Lily next to? Yeah, there's Lily. So I even get to know other people's kids. Like, so yeah, this just blows my mind. So you can't find a better type of partnerships. And that cow was not sacrificed. Cow is still there. Thank you. That's my daughter Hannah, right next to the cow, and my son Jonah. So yeah, fun day. So it becomes more than just a business transaction. There's Mitch again. Mitch is my brother from another mother. We're both born in May. We're like 3 days apart, not in years, but and we're about the same height. So no. But he's lefty, I'm lefty. We have so many things in common. I love him, and he's obviously part of the 100 Millionaires podcast with Walter. And so there's a special one, Paula. How about you come up here for a second? Yeah. So
I wasn't expecting this.
yeah, I know. I like to trick you. Nice job. There's a subset in the Alchemist Nation called lawyers, right? Yep. And Paula's an attorney, an amazing attorney. And so how long have we been talking about working together?
I started in August, but the conversation, I think, was from January of the year before that.
Yeah.
It's been quite a long time.
Long time. And we just kept talking, and I could see that there was a way that we should be working together. And so as of August, Paula is now part of my firm, Blake Cunningham Crowchester.
Woo-woo!
Woo! And she also sat for the bar in July, so she's finding out very soon about the Rhode Island part of the bar, but she's also...
Fingers crossed. Put
Fingers
the energy
crossed.
out in the world.
Oh, you'll be fine. And so from day one, since she joined the firm, she's just been crushing it. She's amazing wealth of knowledge, and
I've gotten to work with a lot of, already, in just since August, a lot of people in this room have gotten to work with, help them close deals, help them get things accomplished, help them not get things accomplished if that's what they want. And it's just been powerful, and I can't wait to work with even more people and help them grow. The reason Mike and I jive so well is we want to see this community grow. We want to help people create it in the world, and we have that power to have the drive to serve, and so that's really why I feel like we've been aligned and why it works so well.
Nice. And so, it's really gratifying for two reasons, because like I said, Paula's an amazing attorney. She's super, super qualified, but also she's part of Alchemist Nation, so that just means the world to me.
And the timing worked out well, because Rotan and everything, and I just keep joking with
Stuff
people
right
that I'm Mike's physical presence.
All right, nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So Paul and I were at one of Kim Rodriguez's and Nicole's events in Foxborough. So we represent at the events and stuff like that. And then, so next one, back to community. See a couple of the coaches. It's Ryan, who had to leave after his amazing speech yesterday, and Mitch, of course. And then she's going to kill me for this picture. But Jen Sullivan, come on up. So you're probably wondering why I did this picture. And the reason I did this picture is I said, maybe I should change it, and Walter said, no, keep it. No, I'm kidding. What happened is that Jen and I basically wrote my book together with Jen's pens, all online, talking to each other, zooming back and forth. So that was really the reason for the picture. Where did that book go? Was it around here? Give me 1 second.
I knew
here
when
it is.
he took that picture
Here
that
it
was
is.
going to be a bad
So
thing.
this is my new book, which, so awesome. And super amounts of patience, fast track to millions, how to profit through partnerships kind of story. Yeah. Did you have fun doing it with me?
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We had a series of interviews that we just kind of sat and talked out what Mike did, like from the beginning all the way through, and what partnerships have meant to him. and when he discovered exactly what the power of partnerships were.
Right.
Right?
Right.
He realized at one point, he realized that he was a millionaire.
Yeah. Woo!
And he was like, how did that happen?
That's like page 1.
Yep, I'm not
Yeah.
spoiling anything here.
Yeah.
And he realized that in the past few years, the difference had been partnerships.
Right. Tons of partnerships. So that's so awesome. And this was amazing. And I'm super excited that I'm the first book that she's published as Jen's Pens. So, yeah. So, favorite part of working together, you, me, and Walter?
Oh man, we had a meeting every week where we just sat and chatted, really, to get everything, all the information out of my head. It was just the best. That was so much fun.
Lots of funny stories. Yeah.
Lots of funny stories.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Half of them not included.
Yeah. Right. All right. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, whatever. All right. So yeah, thank you, Jen. So yeah, we got a book and. All right. So moving on. How do I get back to this thing? There we go. So we got other members of the community. There's Kim and Nicole from that, and Jay Lorette. So more people in the community. So awesome. There's John. Nice job, John. And Melissa Baker there. So maybe come up for a second, Melissa. Yeah. Sorry. I wanted to bring Melissa up. First of all, she does a ton of business in Rhode Island, and she sent me tons of closings, which I really appreciate. But the funny thing about Melissa is that she and I have known each other since we were what, in about 15, 16, hanging out in Providence together. Yeah, and then Alchemist Nation kind of brought us all back together, right? Yeah.
You actually, I remember talking with you going back about 4 years ago, and you were talking about this gentleman, Walter, in Fall River, and come on, Melissa, come with me on a Saturday and talk real estate. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Well, I never did. I wish I did.
Yeah, right.
And then we reconnected at your house with Walter and Brenda and the whole group, and that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And then I came to the summit last year.
Yeah,
And I miss
that's
Brenda
fun.
so much. I wish she was here.
We'll get her next year. That's that. Yeah.
And then, I dove right
Yeah,
in last October.
That's the real reason I wanted to bring her up. So we've been friends for a long time. I introduced her to Brenda, and it's like I don't exist. They're texting each other. They're going to yoga together, meditation together, all this stuff. And I'm like,
yoga,
what happened to me? Wait a sec.
Talking about our kids, the
Yeah,
kids.
all that stuff. So really cool.
In business
stuff.
and
Yeah.
real estate.
Oh, tons
and
of business.
Everything
yeah.
holistic and
Yeah.
thoughts and ideas. And
So yeah, just another example of how amazing this community is.
amazing community
Yeah.
and amazing opportunities, and the growth is just phenomenal.
Right?
Unbelievable.
You've been crushing it, especially.
So,
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah. Love you. All right. Maybe we'll get John up here for a second. Come on up, John. I don't want to leave you out of that. Let's go back. Nice. So same thing. John is just a wealth of knowledge. What's your favorite area to invest in?
I like Woonsocket.
Yeah. And
I think Woonsocket. I like the old buildings. Has a lot of character in there.
yeah. And these.
I live in there now.
Yeah, right. But you live in a raised ranch, right?
I used to.
So tell everybody, where do you live in Woonsocket now?
I live in the north end of Woonsocket.
Yeah, what kind of a house? What kind of a house? He lives in a
I
mansion.
just bought a mansion.
He just bought a
My wife and I,
mansion. It's so beautiful, and got an amazing deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's an awesome. I knew the value, so my wife Kim, she's not here right now, but she was like, "I want this house. I want it, and we did it. And why not? Because we buy in Woonsocket anyway.
Yeah.
So
It's brilliant. You're probably going to end up owning the whole street, right?
I would
You're already
love to.
talking to
I would
people
love to.
next door. Yeah.
This guy right here, he closes all my deals.
Yeah,
He's
so,
an
yeah.
amazing guy. He's not just a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's like a brother. Like
So sweet.
he helps us a lot.
Nice. Cool. Thank you. All right. There's John. Same thing, we were at the Foxborough event. Melissa, Yuri, who's not here. I don't think he's, how old's Yuri? He's like 20, 24. And how many units does he have now? He's got 9 since January, and I closed his deals. He's amazing. She said she's already closed 2 deals with Yuri, and kid's amazing. From here, yeah, so amazing. So if you get a chance to meet him, he's awesome. Shout out. All right, so then basically I'm blessed. We said that. Gratitude. All right. So this is a 5-unit that I own. We bought this 5-unit. It's got a 2-bedroom on the top floor, and then it's got 4 1-bedrooms below it that are Airbnb. And what makes it a little bit different is that this is in Roatan, Honduras. Yeah, so we bought it there, and that's me sort of waving. I don't know if you can see me out of the door right there, but we just recently, that's what Paula was mentioning, we just moved. I moved my family, so we're living there with 3 of the 5 kids. Samantha's still in Rhode Island, and my other daughter, Emma, is in college in Arizona. But Jonah, Noah, and Hannah are living with us in Roatan, Honduras, and we're there full-time and loving the heat. So, yeah. So talk about manifesting. I put on my vision board, I wanted palm trees and warm weather, and Brenda, and I kept saying Florida, and Brenda said, no effing way. I don't want to live in Florida. And somehow we went to visit Honduras, Roatan, and we found this place and fell in love with it, and we bought it. I know a lot of people ask me, like, what did you pay for it? So it was listed for $650. We bought it for $600,000. They use U.S. dollars for the exchange, and we got seller financing. We put down 60% and then 3 payments, and so I've done 2. So I have 1 more payment at the end of November, and then we'll own it free and clear. So yeah. And so like I said, we're living there now. I don't know if we're going to stay there forever, but geez, you know, if you can go live on a Caribbean island and be 2 minutes from the water, it's a huge blessing. So that's where we are now. So people are saying, where's Brenda? Brenda's up on the top floor right now. She's with the kids. So, yeah. And then let's see what else. It's just not, stop working. Or is that the last one? I thought I had 1 more slide. Yes. All right. And that brings us full circle back to where we started. This is the love of my life. She means everything to me. Probably going to start crying. So. That's it. Oh, thanks. You want that? All right. Thank you.
One more time, Michael Scott.